Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever this video finds you. Welcome to Life Science. My name is Adam Bergeron, and if you are watching this video, it's because your student is enrolled in one of three classes, either AP Biology on an A day, or Biomedical Innovations or Plant Science on a B day. My goal for this short video is just to introduce you to AP Biology and a little bit about my philosophy for this particular course. So as we get started here, this is my 19th year teaching students life science, not teaching life science to students here in St. Louis. It's my 6th year here at Clayton High School, and I also serve as the Science Olympiad and Scholar Bowls sponsor here at school. The little ones on the left are my pride and joy, Ben and Celia, and they're really the reason why I do what I do. I was telling your students last week that I hope that as my kids grow older, they will encounter an educator much like myself. So again, what I'd like to do is just share a bit of my personal philosophy in respect to teaching life science. And we can start with this very simple question, this essential question: why is studying biology important? Oftentimes your kids will pose this question in a slightly different way. They'll say, is this going to be on the test? And the answer is yes, but perhaps in a way that is somewhat unexpected. And to introduce you to this line of thinking, I want to provide you with a real life example, an example that I also plan to share with the students later on during the school year. So I want to start with a question. And this question is built around an experience that I had over the summer while shopping at Costco. I was walking up and down the aisles and I saw these boxes. If you can't tell from the image, these are boxes of, or really bulk boxes of Clorox bleach. And this sentence or this phrase on the side of the box really caught my attention. Of course, as you can see, it says kills COVID-19 virus, and in fact kills 99.9% of bacteria and viruses. So, this of course raised two questions in my mind, and hopefully in your students' minds as well. How does bleach kill the virus that causes COVID-19, setting aside the fact that COVID-19 isn't the virus and SARS-CoV-2 is? And moreover, why only 99.9% of bacteria and viruses? What's preventing Clorox bleach from killing that remaining 0.1%? So from the questions comes ideally the opportunity for learning or growth as a learner. So on the screen you can see a picture of the coronavirus. I'm sure you've seen similar images like this through your own experiences. And what we can see in this image are the red spike proteins, but I really want to call your attention to the gray. The gray is the cell membrane, or the viral membrane would be a better way to describe that, of the SARS-CoV-2 viral particle. And again, the red are the spike proteins. And if you're not aware of this, the spike proteins are what allow the virus to gain entry into our cells. They're also the protein on the surface of the virus that our immune system targets in the production of antibodies to bind to the protein and ultimately block entry of the virus into our cells. So with that in mind, what I would ask students to do is think about those two questions. So how does bleach kill SARS-CoV-2, and why does bleach only kill 99.9% of those viral particles, of those bacteria and viruses? So over the course of the year, what I would hope to provide students the opportunity to learn more about are viruses, and first, whether or not this is even the right question to be addressing, because in reality, you can't kill a virus because a virus isn't alive. If you're using bleach to hypothetically kill a virus, what you're actually doing is causing the virus to change shape, specifically by applying a chemical substance, bleach is mostly sodium hypochlorite, at a concentration that will change the pH of the surrounding environment, and specifically would change the structure of those proteins on the surface of the virus, likely making them less infectious, making them unable to gain entry into our cells. Because what students should know, certainly by the end of this course, is that a change in pH alters the structure of molecules such as proteins. Moreover, what I would hope students would begin to understand is that 0.1% might be representative of viruses that possess a structure, perhaps in the form of the surface protein, perhaps in the form of some other molecule that makes up the virus, that is resistant to that change in pH. And thus, while we might not be able to kill the virus, and what instead we're striving to do is denature the virus, that 0.1% of the viral population is resistant to bleach because of the molecular makeup or the molecular composition of the molecules that make up the virus itself. So really, that's what we're trying to do in a class like this. We're asking questions, and then we're using what we know, both through evidence that we might collect during laboratory exercises or through the scientific concepts that we address in the form of scientific reasoning to answer these questions in meaningful ways, and maybe even challenge some of the preconceptions that students and the public alike encounters in their daily lives. So, along with questions and thinking, what I have learned in my time as an educator is that we also have to provide students with an opportunity to breathe. And this, of course, is a pretty big word to think about. So let me provide a little bit of context. What I've learned in my experience as an educator is that we often disconnect the link between our brain's ability to think and our body's ability to feel. And what I mean when I say this is that when human beings have strong emotions, the parts of our brain that we need to think through those big questions and to address those problems that teachers ultimately are always asking students to consider go offline or become less available to us as a consequence of the way that we're feeling. So to target this, what I want to do each and every day with your students is to reconnect our brain and our body. To be fully aware of the fact that when you're feeling a certain way, you may not be able to do what it is that I'm asking you to do. And if that's the case, let's develop some strategies that you can use in this class, in other classes, in your daily life to reconnect your brain and body in a way that makes what it is that adults are asking you to do just a little bit more possible. So we'll be doing various exercises in mindfulness throughout the year with the time that we do have available to build this skill set in students over the course of time. And of course, this targets one of the big goals that we've developed here in the school district, increasing social emotional learning as a target for students before they graduate at the end of their tenure at Clayton High School. Finally, this class is challenging. I fully understand that. Your child may encounter difficulty throughout the year. I want to make myself available as much as possible to provide that assistance. So I will always be available after school, usually till at least 4:30 in the afternoon. I'm also available during 2nd, 5th, and 7th blocks this year. So if your child has a free period, feel free to encourage them to reach out to me, make contact, and schedule some time where we can meet. The best way to do that is by email. In fact, if you need to communicate with me in any way, shape, or form, I would encourage you to use email. But I'm also including my phone number here, and this is not my school number. This is my cell phone number. So if you ever need to contact me, please feel free to use my cell phone. Give me a call, send me a text, and I will be sure to get back to you as soon as possible. I hope this video was helpful in terms of offering just a little bit about what this course is all about. And if you have any questions or concerns throughout the year, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks a lot.